You are listening to The Bo's Nose, a podcast about education where wonderful students and teachers can share their stories. And I'm your host, Mr. Bose, and today I have some seniors in studio with me to help talk about A-Level Global and what that is and what our students at QI can look forward to in their senior year. So thank you for joining me, and please introduce yourselves to our listeners.
Hi, I'm Tia Collins.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Clayberger.
Hi, I'm Riley Blackmer.
Thank you, ladies, for joining me today. So podcasts in Season 2 start out with the same 3 questions. So what is your favorite QI story or tradition? Listeners, everyone's pointing at each other going, not me first.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. My favorite tradition since it's coming up is the lip dub. I think it's a super cool way for everyone to get involved and just see the school spirit. And I think it's even better now that it's on the same day as the pep rally. So it's just a whole day of school spirit and fun.
Okay. Well, my favorite school tradition is probably similar to Riley, but I'm going to go more towards I really like the pep rallies, and I like how we do the sporting events after the pep rallies, and how there's typically like a dance involved after. I just think it gives a really good break in the middle of the school year.
And I'm also gonna take off of what they said. I really like the week of the pep rallies because you get to dress up, you have fun, and be creative.
Very good. And of course, we are approaching y'all's last one.
Oh my gosh.
I might cry.
So before we get to that, though, if you could time travel, when would you go and why?
Am I allowed to say, before Christ?
Sure.
The area with Athens and Sparta? I don't want to be there, but I want to observe really badly. I don't want to have to live in that era, but more just, watch,
Okay, mine would be probably completely different. I think I would like to time travel to the future. I think I kind of just want to give myself, a general idea that, wow, this really works out. Because I know in my mind that it's going to be okay, but I kind of just want to be able to see that it's going to be okay.
And the reassurance that, yeah, it's okay.
Yes, exactly.
I normally try to think of something not typical. So I'm going to go with, I would like to skip to the time travel to the end of today because my math test will be done.
Very good. Last, of course, is quality, integrity, respect. Which one and why?
I'd have to say integrity. I pick this one every time, and I think it's just because you need integrity to have all of the others. You need integrity to have quality and respect for others, and I just think it's really important.
I agree with Riley. I think integrity is also the most important because I think that having integrity in yourself and it makes it easier to be respectful, it makes it easier for people to respect you, and also makes it easier for you to do quality work.
I would choose respect. I just think it's important for everybody to respect each other. It makes things go a lot smoother in life. So I'd choose respect.
Very good. So all right. Let's jump into talking about A-Level Global and Global in general. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about Global Perspectives?
Okay, I'll start. So taking Global Perspectives in 11th grade, it's a lot different than doing A-Level Global. I will say that. So regular Global Perspectives, we have the presentation, you have the essay, and then you have the exam portion. So it's 3 separate tests, whereas A-Level Global is just 1 essay. So they are very different classes, and AS Level Global does require more pieces.
Global A-Level also is very, you control your own essay. You keep track of what you're doing, and all of the assignments align with. It reminds me of what I think college would be like, just having to hold yourself to a strict regimen.
I think that AS Global also, there's a little bit more pressure on just your coursework and things, and mostly that's because this is the foundation of your ACE diploma, and you have to pass that course, pass the exam, to start receiving your ACE diploma. In A-level, there's a little bit more freedom because you kind of have the security sometimes that you already have your diploma or that you've already passed AS level. So I think it just offers you a little bit more freedom as far as like what topic to pick and things like that.
Yeah, also like with AS level global, it's like you don't really get to pick to take that class. It's mandatory. A level global though, you get to choose that, and it's normally like a really chill environment because everybody that's there kind of really wants to be there. And also with global in general, you do have the freedom to pick what you write on, so it's pretty cool that you actually get to talk about something that you want. So if you have something that you're very passionate about and that's what you want to write about, you can.
And I think even like looking towards college as a senior, it's really helpful because it allows you to kind of start to like search into and research into like things you may even want to major in. I know that's definitely something I've considered while writing my paper.
So, Jasmine, you mentioned that it's just one paper, so why don't we tell our listeners a little bit about what that paper is?
Okay, so in A-Level Global, the paper is 5,000 words, give or take a few, but you really want to kind of keep it at the 5,000 words. But we write it all year long, so 5,000 words might seem a little scary, but it's really not. We've been writing this since August, September, and we're coming near the end now. The whole paper is on the same thing, so me personally, I'm doing mine on mental health in the media. And so what you do is we take perspectives. I have 2 perspectives on mine, which is like, yes, that it's good in the media and no, it's bad in the media. And so basically you write an essay, you pull sources from different global sources. That's really a really key part of this is you have to use global sources. That's why it's called Global Perspectives. And for each one, you want to have like 4-ish sources for each perspective. So it might seem scary to have a 5,000 word essay, but it's really not. It's a piece that you work on all year long.
And I think that's important for people to realize about both of them, really, is that the AS, there's a lot involved with it, but you do spend all year working on the different components. And that's what class is. And then, the A level is you have till usually around May 1st to write your 5,000 words. So awesome. Let's see. All right. So we talked about that not everybody has to take it, but why did the 3 of you choose to take it?
I chose to take it because I really like writing. It's the one thing that I genuinely, I really enjoy in school, and I excel at it. And I knew that we got to choose our own topic, so I was like, I feel like that would be fun, choosing my own topic and getting to write about it. That was, yeah.
Similarly to Tia, I also really love writing. I'm definitely very English-oriented. I also did very well in AS Level Global, and I thought that I might want to continue that. And I also do have a lot of things that I like to look at on the side, like research-wise, and I thought that this would be a good way for me to actually do it for some credit instead of just doing it on my own. I also like the idea of having only seniors in my class, and I know that might be different but I just like hanging out with the kids in my grade. And
so I actually don't particularly love writing. I really picked the class because I thought it'd be a nice way to like pick an elective that isn't too demanding for senior year, but also is really meaningful. I know for me, having Mr. Bo's first period in math and then having global after has been very helpful. If I'm like confused, I can always get help during global. But also, just there's a lot of flexibility in it with college applications. Like the paper, it's not like it takes up every day in class. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in class and also work on it a little bit at home. But I think just the flexibility of the class was really why I chose it. So yeah.
Very good. So the next logical question, of course, is why should other students want to take the class?
Okay, so adding to like what Riley just said about flexibility, this class is very flexible. It really has been helpful, like she said, with like doing scholarship essays, and especially in the beginning of the year with college applications, because while we do work in the class, there's also it is less demanding than other classes. We work all year on this essay, so that also frees up some time for you to work on other things. And in your senior year, you're going to need that time.
I agree. It's just like in the stress of senior year, like she said, worrying about college applications. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to work by your own schedule.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. And I think just going back to even like the research aspect of it and like what you can learn in your paper. Like I know when I was doing my college applications, they were like, what do you want to major in? And like being able to do research into something you were interested in kind of showed you if that's something you still wanted to research and still wanted to learn about. So I think that's a really cool aspect of it.
Yeah, I think that's great because, like, I know for me when I teach the global, it is very much a choose your own adventure novel in that it's, there are structures in place to make sure you get your paper done, but kind of how you want to do that is up to you. If you want to write 100 words a day for 5 days to get 500 words, great. If you want to write 500 words in one day and have 4 days to write college applications at the beginning of the year or scholarship essays or whatever, you can do that too. So, kind of talked about everything else. Let's give your tips. So all those juniors that are deciding right now that they want to take A-Level Global because it's such an awesome class and they should, of course, take it.
Okay, so my biggest tip for this class is, well, a lot of kids in my class, just because they knew that it kind of wasn't urgent, really put it off. And towards the end of like the first 9 weeks or like even the first semester, they were not doing too well. And this isn't for me personally, but I've just seen it. And I would just like to say that make sure you kind of stay on top of it. Even though we're saying like this is a flexible class and it's good to have for your schedules, you still kind of do have to do your work. And letting yourself slip like that is only going to hurt you in the end, not anyone else.
I would agree with that. I think the flexibility comes with like the understanding that you are going to submit your paper, like the 500 words. We have every 2 weeks in Mr. Bose's global class, our 500 words are due. I'm sure that's the same in your all's global class, but I think the flexibility comes with the understanding that you're not going to just choose not to do the paper until the last minute. I think it's really based on the fact that you're going to get the paper done, and I think that's the biggest thing is making sure you actually write your 500 words on time so that the next week you're not like, oh, well, now I'm 1,000 words behind and then 1,500. And then also the research logs. I'm really bad about it. Yes. They're due on Tuesdays. And I'm like, oh, I'll just do it when I get home. And then I'm like laying in bed. It's 11:30. I'm like, oh, I did not do my research log. So stay on top of that and just stay on top of like finding sources. And it's really important that in your pre-planning stages, I think, in the class, that you really try to focus on that and give yourself the biggest benefit you can and the best advantage you have over the rest of the year.
My tip is to genuinely find a topic that you can find yourself writing 5,000 words on. That's my biggest tip.
That's a good point, too.
I'd like to add on that. It's definitely easier to write 500 words like in a time crunch when you actually like the topic. And then you even can sometimes end up writing more than that. I know there's been several times where I've written like 800 words, and it's like, oh, it's just because I like the topic. Yeah, I know, right? You're like, next week, so got so much time.
Yeah, and something we haven't talked about yet is kind of the difference in topic choices between AS and A-Level. With A-Level, it can, as long as there are multiple perspectives you can take, you can write about just about anything. So you can write about literature, you can write about history, you can pick current events or, current issues if you want to talk about it, but you don't have to. You can, it's, as the three ladies have said, it's really about picking that thing that you're going to be, you don't have to be passionate about it. Like you're going to run for president on it, but interested enough to spend 6 months working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially for students who are thinking maybe they want to go get a professional degree, master's or beyond, this is really good thesis practice because there are some graduate level graduate level papers that don't have to be this long or this involved. So if you can survive that, there's not much writing you're going to do in college that is going to rival the length of A-Level Global for sure. And there's no presentations in A-Level Global.
That is awesome.
So if students want to know more about A-Level Global, how can they find out more?
I think maybe asking your AS level teachers and I think they may be willing to work with you to come visit an A-level global class and even talk with us if you have any questions. But your AS level global teachers and even your A-level global teachers, I'm sure a lot of the juniors already have Mr. Bose as a math teacher. So, and Miss Finlater also. So, if you have a close relationship with her, I'm sure you could go ask her.
Or just any students that are in the grade above you. You can ask them if they've taken A-level, how they felt through AS level, just ask students too.
I do think that one of the best ways to go about it, if you're really considering it, is to talk to one of the students, because obviously teachers can probably tell you more about the class themselves, but the students can tell you more about their experience in the class.
Yeah, it is. It's my goal to try to get to the AS level classes here in the next week or two before course selections get sent out. But the other thing to keep in mind, listeners, is that the scores combine. So whatever marks you got for your AS level paper, they get combined with your A level paper. So especially for those of you that think you're going to do really well on your AS level paper, getting that A level mark then is not that big of a lift. So it takes a little bit of the stress off. And of course, it's 3 more college credits you can earn that you can take with you to university when you graduate. So, all right. Anything else about Global you want to share with our listeners before we wrap it up?
Don't immediately cancel it out as I didn't really like Global. It was really stressful. I'm not taking A-level.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely good to consider it and definitely keep your options open. I mean, I know Global, for me personally, Global, I didn't absolutely love it. I think there was a lot of components to it and it was really new. But as a senior looking back, I definitely am so glad I took A-level Global. It just has, I would say it's one of my favorite classes.
Yeah, I would say I agree. Don't rule out A-level global because they are entirely different classes.
Very good. All right, so before I let you go, because we do have to go to class, you are seniors, and we are getting later in the year, so now I have to ask, what is next for the 3 of you?
All right, I'll go first. What's next for me? I'm starting the University of Florida in summer. I'm going to hopefully begin, I'm going to major in psychology, hopefully pre-med. I want to be a psychiatrist. That's really what I see next. I'm starting very soon, so I think it's really definitely starting to kick in, and I don't like that so much, but it's still, it's bad and exciting at the same time.
I think what's next for me is learning how to manage time. I know I'm going to Santa Fe first, and I would like to... Thank you. I appreciate it. And I would just like to figure out how to manage the years and how many years I'm going to be spending at college. Yeah, just managing time.
So I finally have an answer for this question after this whole year. I was recently admitted into UF. So I'm planning on going there. I'm still waiting on a few other decisions, so we'll see what happens with those. But that's kind of where I see myself.
Very good. So we wish the 3 of you the best of luck in the rest of your senior year and beyond. And listeners, that wraps up another episode of The Bo's Nose. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with me. Listeners, if you like the podcast, subscribe on your favorite podcast player of choice so you don't miss out on future episodes. And please share with your friends. Until next time, excellence in all endeavors.